everyone, and welcome to the Arthur Murray Lifestyle Series. I'm Victoria Regan, the Global Ambassador for Arthur Murray International. We have many bright, beautiful, and talented entrepreneurial women in our organization, and this young lady is no exception. Growing up, she was an athlete, and while in college, she played on the basketball team. Her self-image was strictly business, and as a consultant, she excelled in the corporate world. That is, until she connected with Arthur Murray's and her artistic side. Welcome, Kia Kenney, franchisee from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Hello, Kia, and welcome to the Lifestyle Series. It's great to see you. In my opening, I revealed a bit of your background, but please share a more in-depth scenario.
Well, hello, Victoria, and thank you so much for including me in this series. It's actually been really fun. I love learning about everyone's backstories, so I'm honored to be asked to participate, and I hope that my journey will elicit a little confidence or enjoyment for others as well. So I grew up in Florida, so Sunshine State girl for sure, but city girl at heart. And, you know, my family was very musical, right? We were all musicians. That was an important part of our family. We were also athletes and also very much focused on leadership growth and leaders in whatever we were doing. So it's kind of a multifaceted upbringing. My mom was a music and arts director at our church. My dad was a pianist. My brothers started instruments. My older brother is a songwriter and a producer even today, and an amazing musician, drums, trumpet, piano. My younger brother is also a songwriter and a musician. So music was important. I played the violin growing up and played the oboe in band because they didn't have violin. And we were also athletes, so sports was a big part of my life. I was a basketball player. That was my passion, and that's kind of what more I identified myself with. I definitely wasn't a dancer. I loved the arts. I would love the occasional church production or musical that I got to be a part of. Those were definitely, they tapped into a passion, I could tell. I had this secret desire, well, not probably, I had a secret desire to be on Broadway, but I never told anyone that, but I thought it would be kind of an amazing dream.
I understand that you took a sabbatical, moved to Boston, and that's when you were introduced to Arthur Murray's. How did that all come about?
Yeah, you're right. I had been consulting and loved my job and loved the travel and living overseas and, working with incredible people. It was extremely stimulating work, but I also, I think looking back, realized that there was a stirring in my soul that was missing the artistic side that I'd always been used to cultivating. And so I had moved back to Florida to kind of try to reestablish some sort of community base amidst all the travel to be able to start to get involved in the arts in some way. And a couple of my friends, I knew Florida wasn't a place I was going to stay forever. I wanted to be in the city, and I had a couple of good friends who were in Boston. And so I had moved there, and a good friend of mine was interested in the teacher training program. He was looking for a summer job. And so he had seen the Arthur Murray training program, and he asked if I would join him for a couple lessons. And so I thought, hey, sure, why not, So I took a couple lessons, but in that moment, we took 4 lessons, and then I was sitting in the office with Mark Leitner and thought to myself out loud, I had come to a decision in my own soul searching that I needed to find something in life that really gave me a balance of my left and right brain. They're very dominant, and I thought, I've got to be able to find something that can feed both. And I think that's how I'll be happiest. And so in the midst of the exposure to ballroom dancing, which I didn't really know existed, I thought maybe this is my niche. So Mark said, absolutely, come on board. And he hired me initially as a consultant to help automate everything that was happening. And I started my teacher training.
Mark Leitner was obviously a great influencer. What was it about his leadership skills that were so encouraging? And is there anyone else you'd like to mention?
I will always be grateful to Mark for the autonomy that he gave me. I think it's really hard as a leader sometimes to let go and put a lot of faith and trust in your people. And he instilled a lot of faith in me with his studio. And you're young, you have a lot of ideas, and you're coming into a new environment. And I think he he really kind of let me fly. And have always been so grateful. I think I was able to stretch my wings and try to take all the skills I'd learned in life so far and apply them in this new world. And I was extremely grateful for his faith in me and the amount of autonomy and decision-making that he allowed me to exercise.
As a woman in this industry, did you or do you find equal opportunities or possibly an advantage? And if so, why?
Yeah, I've never felt like I have been aware of any disadvantage as a woman in this industry, which I'm very grateful for. And probably from the beginning of my time in it, when within a year and a half of my being in the company, Mark asked me to manage the studio. So I had leadership opportunities from the get-go. And I think, it's maybe an advantage. I don't know. I guess you might as well embrace it as possibly being one and then run with it. But this business is such a balance of, the analytical business side, but with this relational side, we're in the people business. So the ability to, get emotional and listen and really understand and spend time with people and build, whether it's client relationships, whether it's developing your team members, and the ability to combine those things could potentially be an advantage for a woman who is maybe more, for most women, perhaps more naturally inclined to that emotional side of things that then can be paired with a business.
So what sparked your interest in becoming a franchisee? And share with us your process of choosing and opening Cambridge.
I wouldn't say I had this grand plan all mapped out to become a franchisee per se. But it was kind of the natural next step of growing. After managing a studio like Boston, I wanted the next challenge, and opening a studio from scratch was part of that. Rather than taking an existing studio and turning it around and kind of redeveloping it, I really wanted the experience and the life experience of opening from scratch, and so the first piece of that was for me choosing the market. And I'm a very mission-minded person, so I think I needed the market area to be something that tapped into a mission for me. And Cambridge is a really, I looked at a lot of different places, but ultimately Cambridge was a market I was familiar with enough. And I felt like it's this metropolitan area across the river from Boston that, is expensive enough that not everybody drops into it. But it just was this group of people, a community really interested in the arts, but that didn't have a great dance studio, an art and Murray studio, right, at their disposal. So I wanted to be able to bring that to the community.
Kia, let's take a break from business and connect to your heart and your artistic side, that is dancing, which also includes your partner, Christian.
Yeah, I never really thought I was going to be a dancer, really. I thought I'd be a dance teacher and that I'd have this business track that seemed like the natural thing for me. And as I became exposed to the opportunity to compete with my first partner, I realized it was really an exercise of me just doing something because I loved it, and which was a really important growth step for me. And it was just, it tapped into my athletic side, right? I love training for something, and I'm addicted to progress. And so Christian had been a teacher. He was a newer teacher in the studio, and my previous dance partner had moved to Chicago, and we were at a competition, and Christian came up to me, and I hadn't been competing, and he had seen me compete before. And so he knew I was without a partner, and he said, I just keep thinking if I just would have started this sooner, you wouldn't be without a partner, which I thought was a really sweet thing to say. So I said, well, we talked, and I said, go learn my routines and then we'll talk, so he did.
Advice to anyone who dreams of becoming a franchisee and a champion at the same time?
Well, I think the first piece of advice that simply is just to really tune in to what your heart's desire is. Because, people sometimes recommend a certain order of things, right? You dance first, then own a business. And while there's certainly some validity to those points, I think, we're all different, and some of us need to be doing more things than just one. But, you have to know what sacrifices you're willing to make and what's really going to make your heart sing. And what are you willing to put into that? And And if you stay true to that, I think you make it work. The business, you've got to learn to make money if you're going to support your competitive career. And it can be a nice way to support your competitive career, right? Because if you can run a good studio, it can be an assistance to allowing your competitive dreams to come true. And the dancing serves the business in the sense that you become models for your studio community, for your teachers. You're living what a lot of your teachers are going to want to do. So I think being able to do both and everything it aids, each thing aids the other, and can really be an awesome thing. But it comes with the sacrifices of money and time and personal life and all that good stuff. But follow your heart.
Kia, do you have a bucket list, and does that bucket list include another studio?
Well, it's a crazy time, but yes, Christian and I are actually opening a second studio. We took over or purchased the Worcester studio in Massachusetts. So we are expanding, even though it's been an interesting year. So that's exciting. And I'm not a traditional bucket list kind of person, but I do have, I guess, personal goals for myself that are in a way my bucket list. A couple of those things currently are that I love traveling internationally. I got a taste of that early on, and I want that to be a regular part of my life. So I always try to get overseas, ideally every year. But my goal for myself is to live life in a way that different cultures feels normal in terms of adapting, that it doesn't become uncomfortable. It never becomes uncomfortable to be in a different culture. I just appreciate each one for its uniqueness. So I want to keep that a part of my life. Keep growing my business. So I think probably a bucket list item is to develop a metropolitan market area of studios outside of just individual studios, but to really be able to kind of grow a new network, maybe where there isn't one currently, and be able to watch a team of teachers and leaders develop through the Arthur Murray kind of structure, and be able to just enjoy the development aspects of that in terms of area events and stuff like that. I think just mostly or other business ventures that come with that, but kind of my personal thing is to keep saying yes faster to gut instincts that have to do with my professional career, and become a faster decision maker, and to just continue to follow those instincts in terms of professional growth.
Last question. The most impactful and memorable moments in your life?
Well, the first, I think, will always be, at least for now, the decision to leave my consulting career and try something new. I tended to play it safe with life and wanted to, be good at things. So I wanted to have a sure bet. And the exercising of taking a risk and switching directions for the chance of greater fulfillment was life-changing for sure. I think that moment and that process taught me courage in a new way. And it has given me the ability to exercise courage more regularly on a lot of different occasions. So I think it gave me a gift that I have continued to utilize, and that gets more exercise as I go forward. So for sure, I think that remains a very vivid moment in my life that's opened up all sorts of new opportunities. I think the second for me right now is when we won Rising Star and became open finalists in American Smooth and Arthur Murray was something I originally never thought would even be part of my story. And again, from a life perspective, I'm kind of addicted to growth, and my shtick is maximizing potential. And that's my thing for me in life too, is that I want to make sure I'm maximizing potential. So, I'm grateful. I think Arthur Murray in general, just having this career has remained a moment in life that I cherish. I love doing meaningful work, and we get to every day. And my life was changed learning to dance, my confidence. I hadn't hit the social dance floor until I was 22. I wouldn't dance. So to be able to give the life-changing experience that I know it delivers because I've lived it to others, and also to be able to afford a career opportunity that most people don't know exists, these people who are artists by nature, like I have been, but underdeveloped or untapped, or artists that are looking for some stability, and being able to offer a career opportunity that offers them a stable, artistic, and business-filled career is, I think, something really special.
Thank you, Kia. It's been fun. And you are a true inspiration, especially for all of those young artists out there like yourself, looking for a lifetime career and a lifestyle that only Arthur Murray's can offer. It's been a pleasure, and no doubt I will see you on the dance floor soon, or maybe in an online meeting. Bye.
Thank you, Victoria. It's been an honor to be here and to be part of the Lifestyle series among so many others that I respect and admire so much. So thank you for doing this. You're amazing, and it's always a joy talking with you. And thank you to Arthur Murray International for doing this series and for including me in it. I appreciate it.
And as always, thank you to everyone for watching and supporting the Lifestyle series. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.